Welcome to my former office, the Highways of America, where I work narcotics interdiction. Narcotics profiling is defined as the method used by law enforcement officers to highly increase their chances of making a narcotics arrest based on visual cues and indicators prior to the traffic stop. I worked on the interstate, but I want to take you first into the city, the actual city where I cut my teeth and made over 100 arrests on less than 5 miles of highway. Come go to the city with me and then we'll come back to the interstate. This is the exact intersection that I spent 2 years where I made over 100 narcotics arrests. This is a small town with less than 2,000 people. There were two types of people that I would profile. I would look for what I called user drugs and then smuggler loads. And we'll show you in this section what would alert me to believe somebody was just a simple user or what would alert me to somebody being a smuggler. As you can see, this traffic coming behind me and these cars turning the intersection, I would sit here. They were forced to go slow because this is an intersection, and that would help me get a really good look, bird's eye view of the occupants and the vehicle. So if you ever see a patrol car sitting perpendicular at an intersection and he's watching cars real closely going by, one of two things is happening. He's trying to interdict people for narcotics, or he's gotten a BOLO, a be on the lookout, dispatched to him of possibly somebody that was involved in a gas drive-off or some other crime. While I would sit at this intersection, I didn't like stopping the people that lived in Big Sandy. You know, I was trying to catch the larger loads going north and out of towners with marijuana. So if they weren't familiar with this intersection, if they weren't from Big Sandy, I could tell by the way they navigated this intersection. They would be somewhat confused, and they wouldn't use their turn signal, or they'd get in the wrong lane, and I instantly knew they were not a local person. Okay, now this white SUV coming through here looks like a Tahoe. He's not using a turn signal, and I noticed it was a single male, Texas plates, probably from out of town, but his age, he was a lot older. It just didn't strike me as somebody I would stop. There's a black male and black female in a Lincoln. That car's interesting to me, and again, this is not racist. I arrested more white people than I did blacks. My record's clear on that. I am absolutely not racist. There are racist police. I don't care what they tell you, that they've had the training, that they're not racist. They are racist. Not all of them, but a big majority of them are. They do pick on black people and Mexicans, period. I've seen it with my own eyes. That's still happening today. At this time, I'd run a license plate check. And, well, no, I wouldn't need to. There's a Car-Mart sticker. I know Car-Mart is a local car dealership. They have one in Longview and Tyler, but they also have one in Arkansas. Speaking of stickers, if you had a DARE sticker or a Say No to Drugs sticker, that alerted me to you. And you would not believe the people I arrested with those type of stickers on their cars. Cops do not trust people, period, because they get lied to every single day. Pretty soon, after 2 years of nothing but lies, you could be telling them the honest truth, and they don't believe you. You have to prove yourself innocent, and that's unfortunate, instead of them proving you guilty. They automatically assume you're guilty. Now, that was a white female. At first, it looked like a white male with long hair. White males with long hair, I stopped them all the time. Hair like mine, I would have stopped me. They won't smuggle in a really nice vehicle in case they get busted. There's not a nice vehicle for law enforcement to seize. So we're going to catch up to these two. He navigated that turn very well. I need to get closer to the vehicle and start reading bumper stickers, license plates, things of that nature. And again, I'm at a disadvantage because I'm in a Suburban and not a patrol car. If I were in a patrol car, I would have them really nervous right now. They just bobbled that line. That's enough for me to initiate a traffic stop. But at this point, I actually wouldn't. I'd watch them for a while. If you can zoom in on that sticker up on the corner, the rear window, if that is like a DPS, we support DPS troopers sticker, we donate to to some kind of law enforcement agency, that is a heavy indicator to pull them over. Any support of law enforcement that they're advertising automatically makes me suspicious. And I'm starting to feel that same adrenaline being released into my body, and that's what kept me going in law enforcement. When you ask a cop, why do you want to be a cop, or why are you being a cop, or why are you working narcotics, their answer always is, I want to help people and I don't want drugs to get into the hands of the kids. That's all bull crap. They're out here doing this because of the adrenaline rush. They're actually drug addicts themselves. If I injected you with adrenaline, certain doses every day and all day long like a cop gets, you would become addicted to that adrenaline and need more and more and more and more of it. That's why we have to elevate ourselves to more dangerous things to get that rush of adrenaline. When you first break out of the academy, writing a simple traffic ticket, your hand shakes and you get that adrenaline rush. Well, after 500 times writing tickets, it's no longer a big deal to you. So the next thing, you need disturbance calls to get that same adrenaline rush. Then you need fights. Then you need car chases. And what happens without law enforcement recognizing it, this happened to me, I needed so much adrenaline, the only thing that pumped me up were busting people for narcotics, fights, and car chases. When you find drugs on somebody, you're supposed to handcuff them right then. Well, I would leave the cuffs off of them and say, you're under arrest for possession of cocaine. And give them a chance to run or to fight, because that gave me that adrenaline rush that I needed, because I was addicted to the adrenaline. Interdiction officers, narcotics officers, are not out here to help American people, and they're not out here to keep drugs out of the hands of school kids. Drug dealers are not dealing drugs to your 10-year-old on the playground. For one, 10-year-olds don't have any money. For two, 10-year-olds are not doing the drugs. That's all a government ploy. Oh, they're killing our kids. That's a lie. That's just a good thing to say. That's just a mask to hide behind the cruel and unjust war on drugs. It's absolutely not true. Cops are out here doing this for the fame of it, and for the adrenaline rush, and for the peer acceptance. Because after there's a big drug bust, there's a big party, and that officer is considered a celebrity for that moment. Now, working the interstate is much different than working in the city. Remember, in the city, when I could park my car at an intersection perpendicular to get a good look at the vehicle and the occupants, I can't do that on the interstate. But I'm going to show you the techniques I used where I could get a good look at the vehicle and the occupants. You would either sit on the shoulder of the road and watch the passerbys, or one of my favorite things to do is what I called slow roll. You've seen officers do this before. I would be in the right-hand lane, and I would slow down to 40 miles an hour. So if you ever see a law enforcement officer slow rolling, wanting cars to pass him, that's probably what he's doing. There's somebody without a front license plate, a van, Florida plates. Those are hot tags. That van is large enough to carry large amounts of marijuana. Now my goal is to get up beside the van and look at the occupant. And that is, he's an older man. I am not interested in him. Young man in his 30s driving that kind of van, that would look odd to me. I would light him up. Okay, these guys I would consider users. I would automatically assume they were a pot smoker. You know, they party. They would definitely be pulled over if I were looking for somebody that I thought was just a user. And I have jailed many, many users, unfortunately. Remember, narcotics flow north and east because they come from Mexico. The money rolls south and west. My super